Hello everybody and welcome to part 35 of my God King Boudicca series. I am glad to see that the prompt that we saved survives the process of loading the game back up later. One thing I just wanted to touch on moving forward is this has been, or was presented as a tactical nightmare because we had guys land from the water. It went significantly quicker than what I was expecting. But you can see we have boats in both waters, so we're not going to have the option over here. Plus we have these marsh tiles. This is going to be even more of a tactical nightmare, if not downright grueling. So what I'm thinking about doing, if we can pull it off, is take this city and then get this city in a peace deal. The peace deal only has to last for 10 turns that we can be using, you know, seizing this city and then getting position to push in here if we choose to resume. Or we could just not choose to resume and use whatever city we have access to establish a trade route with the Shoshone for the multiplier, because we are getting close to the end. We have 3 musicians. We're going to be more or less halting his, or greatly diminishing I should say, his the Mayans' culture intake, and going from there. We're going to be, you know, picking up archaeologists relatively soon, so our tourism's just going to keep going and going and going. So anyways, I just wanted to cover that. We're going to pass a turn now, keeping eyes here and keeping the May purchase with faith prompt fresh in our minds. Okay, he's not going for it, so I should have asked him what he wanted on top of that, but our money's kind of spoken for and we don't need the multipliers with him. Here we go. We checked in the last part. He was offering a smattering of goodies. Now he's willing to go for a whole city. Kuchandika, we can see it's not Hukandika. Really, they have 2 cities so similarly named, huh? Well, let's see if we can find where Chukandika is. It's got to be one of his newer ones, right? Lower Pop. He's spread all over. Oh, there we go. Kuchundika. Hukandika. Wow. Oh, Kuchu. Huku. Okay, they're similar, but not the same. Alright, so first things first, the prompt. We're going to peel and buy a pagoda. And now that just leaves a pagoda in St. Ives and a pagoda in Edinburgh. Speaking of which, Edinburgh spits out the first of our post-Eiffel Tower settlers, so we're going to name that Lyria. Can we get a capital L in there? I don't know if it'll... Okay. Yeah, okay, that's better. Lyria. Oh, wait, it might have been with a Y. I don't care. Point being is we're going to settle it where Lyria was. Now, as far as policies go, do keep in mind that completing the Statue of Liberty gives us a free policy. So I don't know how long it's going to be until our next policy. I should have like a chart handy so I could see or guesstimate based on all the numbers we have access to here. And I don't know how long it's going to take to build the Statue of Liberty. I assume comparable to the Eiffel Tower, so like in the upper teens, low 20s or something like that. Normally, at this point, when you're content with your ideology, you want to go onto the right side of rationalism. I am contemplating taking the tradition opener and then going this for happiness sake, because if we do take over 2 cities this turn, which we might, it's really going to tax our happiness. I anticipate we're going to build 3 settlers. One will settle here. The second one will settle here, and the reason why we're not going to send it up north is because it's going to take time for this first one to flip. We'll throttle the growth. We'll make sure it happens because we're running out of places to buy faith bot buildings, and then the next one will be like over here to kind of help our religion, you know, echo into the distance, but that's going to take some time to pull off. But this policy, it says happiness for every 10 citizens in a city, and the wording I think is ambiguous. That would make it seem like Edinburgh is going to get 1 happiness, but it'd really get 1.7. So you add that to, what do we have, a city with 13? No. Okay, well, you get the idea. 17 and 14 we'll say. That's 31. That'll be 3 happiness. And we have a lot of population because we've been growing quite tall for a Liberty Civ, thanks to the availability of Cayley Halls. So I'm considering that. I think because of the Statue of Liberty giving a free policy and the fact that our next great person is a scientist, we can go here now and then we can change our minds about that later, and that way we're focusing on as much science as early as possible. Now keep in mind, given our win condition, we don't really need anything science-wise after archaeology, realistically speaking, because we already see the meters. But you know, things like there are other buildings like hotels, airports. I think that's more for like ground improvements, but we're not quite there yet, so I will do my due diligence in researching all that in time. Point being is that we've pretty much got all that we're going to need probably, but more science doesn't hurt. So let's go ahead and choose this with the intention of the next, in 15 turns, maybe cheeking the tradition opener and the Statue of Liberty, giving us aristocracy right afterwards. We'll have to see. Okay, bombard over here. I am going to move the Great General here for now. I don't think it's going to influence the bombard, but it will influence this when we come back to here. So we only got that guy to deal with as far as the bombard option, so we'll just get the breast has grown, so we'll go here. Borders grow in 4 turns. I still think we need to swap places with this musician here and get on the aluminum. We could be selling the aluminum off, and we have lots of things we need money for. I know money is flow is really good, but we need lots of things for money, or money for lots of things. And realistically, waiting for this to grow and coming over here to improve that, not going to happen, because as soon as we hit replaceable parts, these guys, not including him, become Great War infantry and then cross the river. And we're going to need a worker there with them, so we'll take the time to do this and then cross the river. So that's what's going on in Brest. St. Ives grows in population. We'll definitely occupy the horse, help this city start catching up production-wise. Once this worker's done with the hill, we'll start adding farms, and we'll grow into here and use the farms to grow. So there's that. Inverness has grown, so we'll work the good production tile until there's gold here. Let's see, Ramsey has grown, so it's now working this good production tile and picking up some more gold for us. Nice. Borders of Penzance grows. That's freshwater, so let's get over there. We definitely want to get on top of that. And Borders of Douglas grows. That is also freshwater. So we can have this guy come over here. You know, we never did improve this hill, did we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, let's do that now. Because it's gonna... Alright, so Douglas has been growing... Well, we've been growing into the horse, so it's not important. Luckily, it didn't end up being coal or aluminum. No longer friends with Monaco. That is culture. We'll check in with our ticker tape here. And then this is our cue to deal with the buildings we're burning down. And something that had eluded me that I want to keep in mind for, you know, the next city or two that we get, that we burn down, is keep in mind our specialists are offset our happiness in a good way. So when I was quick to sell off the university, for example, that might have been or in the workshop, that might not have been the best idea. Perhaps we'll be able to keep that in mind moving forward. Also, I want to depart from our... Oh wait, monument in 1 turn. Let's stop that. We'll tell it to build a courthouse. We don't want to make more buildings. Although we could just sell them off. Is that worth... What does it cost to sell off? Does it say? I don't think it says. I don't think it's worth it. Waiting an extra turn, because we want this city out of the way so that we can settle a city nearby, and we don't want this city influencing the city we drop. So yeah, we do want this eliminated as quickly as possible. But I think I'm going to depart from the old criteria to sell off the buildings that are providing food. We're not working this town now because there's a boat nearby. That's really good, because if you remember, we were like right on the... We're going, you know, pace for pace there. So let's get rid of the granary first, and then next turn we can get rid of the lighthouse. Growth in 8, growth in 12, so there you go. Now we know that the city will not complete a project and it will not grow, which is everything that we wanted. So now let's get on to our actual build prompt. Okay, settler number 2, he's going to be backyard. factories finished, so let's get this and this off of here. And we're at 20 happiness. We're at 21 happiness. Nice. Now we could go for the observatory here. That's a 50% multiplier. 23 would be 50% of the base. 23 is almost 25, so about 1/4 of 100, 800. So that's 1/12. Am I counting that right? 1/32, excuse me. Math. So yeah, it'd be about 3% increase in science, which is nice. Let's see here. So we got 2, 5, 10. In 10 turns, this is a factory city now. Whoops. So we're going to be in about 10 turns. We're going to be ready to start kicking out archaeologists and building museums and stuff. So let's just do the stock exchange. It fits in nicely. We're way more behind in gold than we need the extra science. We just picked up the sciencey policy. All our cities are growing. We're filling up specialist slots, etc., etc. And then that leaves Ren, who has finished its Colosseum. So we'd like to go to Aqueduct, but 10 and 10. So let's do a quick jog here. We're now looking at 12 and 8. So there we go. Once the aqueduct's finished building, we'll rearrange the tiles to grow appropriately. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to get there eventually. I promise. Let's actually deal with this war first, because when my turn got passed, I saw the fact that this cannon's being dangled. Can you do this by yourself? No. Can you do this by yourself? No. Okay. So chances are what we're going to do is... Alright. These guys both have stuff it can shoot at. And if we're using this guy to help kill this, we're going to need him to take the city, which means we need to get him out of the way. So what we will do is move here. Alright, so hopefully we take the city this turn, because we need to make peace. We don't want to be exposed to a Perigaleus like this. We will pillage. Does that change our odds with the flanking? It looks like we could high roll and one-shot this. So just to make sure everybody gets their XP, let's hit it with him first, and then him. Now, this guy has no boats he can shoot at, so we'll just take our shots here. 1, 2, nice. We'll take a heavy shot here, and it looks like a light shot will help finish it off. So we'll step out of the way of this rifleman, hit it with the light shot. Now we could go for more XP here, but we don't need it to take the city. We'll take the XP by damaging a unit. And then we go like that. There we go. Use city. An okay amount of buildings, not bad. So we say raise the city. Take a look at what's going on here. This city has no gold, so when we say gold, we're doing this. So we want to burn this down to 1 pop and then sell off all the buildings. We'll get a bogus production queue, and we'll take our other citizens. Oh, I was going to say we'll put them both in the university. Let's see what happens when we put one. We're at 17 happiness. Still at 17 happiness. And now we're at 18 happiness. And we're only growing because of the tenant. But we're burning, so we'll have to come in here next turn and make sure that the market is intact. Since it's gold focus, I'm assuming it will be, but nevertheless. So we actually have to sell a building here, and we can do this since we're not going to use it to maintenance. And it took all these specials, so we can probably do the university next turn. Alright, so we've done everything we need to in the city. Now let's check the banner. No resources gained, so that's useful to know because we're burning it down. We don't want to be selling off as if we have those resources in perpetuity. We've taken all the damaging, we've done all the damage we can do to the Shoshone this turn. So let's see if we can make peace and get Boudicca instead of Boudicca. Those are so similar. Let's see here, Boudicca. We want Boudicca, the 8 pop one. So let's go into cities, and that's Afi. There we go, Boudicca. You want this? No. Alright, so it's only 2 citizens difference. I don't know what that equates in gold per turn. We're going to do gold per turn rather than lump sum because we need our lump sum for a lot of different things. And also the gold per turn is 30 turns, and if we do reinstate war with him, the peace treaty is only 10 turns. So let's try 5 and go from there. Oh, he sounds upset. Oh, good. 7 does it. Alrighty, so we get this city. We're going to view it. Lots of buildings here. 8 pop. It's going to take this longer to raise. We say raise the city. It says 6. Oh, look at this. Lhasa is ripe for tribute. And 200. Nice. Okay. I was not planning on that chunk of change, but given all the things we're going to need money for after purchasing that hydro plant and Avarist with, I'm really glad to see that. Okay, so we go back into the city tile, we say gold focus, we give it a garbage construction project, and you can see here we're full up in the specialist slot. So we have a gold tile here, so let's go ahead and lock that in, and we'll go ahead and lock this in. Okay, so now we're at 8 happiness. Let's lock in that, there, we're up to 9. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the university like this. Now these are all locked, the gold tiles and these tiles, so we're going to benefit from that happiness. Just as a goof, no, that does not give us more happiness. So we'll go like that. And now we have to choose what to sell. This is 2 maintenance, as is the temple. So let's go ahead and sell off the workshop. We know we're not going to need 4 specialist slots moving forward. We've just proved that. So there we go. Okay, so that's everything in the city. We take a look at the banner. No new resources, so everything we have to trade is correct, other than the fact that Goa is giving us spices that we don't actually have. And you can see here we're back to working that tile because the war's over. So now we can go in here. So many things to keep track of. We can sell off the cocoa for sure. Oh, whoops. We need to do embassies first. That's why he said there's nothing going on. There we go. So now if we say, it'll populate the 3 for us. Spices, again, that's from Goa. That's illusory. So he's willing to do our iron, which is great, because nobody else is, and we have a lot of it. So, there's that, there's that, there's that. Let's see. So we can pack this to iron with either coal or aluminum. Let's see here. Coal is coming in 4 turns there. This coal is finished. And Penzance is going to wait 15 turns to pick up that coal tile. And 9 turns to pick up this. Possibly. So, yeah, this is the coal we're waiting on. As for aluminum, we'll have aluminum in 4 turns. But we'll have the coal first. On the other hand, the aluminum, the only need we have for aluminum at this point is maybe a hydro plant in Penzance. So let's do that, because the ability to spring a factory anywhere, yeah, let's do that. So the last 2 iron here, along with aluminum. And we go like that. There we go. Alright. So we've maximized all of that. So, next we move over to this war. And he's just going to take his 2 shots here. Nice! Smoked him. Awesome. And then these guys can slide here and take their shots on this guy. There we go. Alright. Okay, so you're chilling, chilling, chilling. Alright. These guys can potentially face a traffic jam through here, and we actually move faster in the water now by a factor of 2. So let's get all this visibility here. We end up in the ocean. Nice. And there we go. This is Lyria, so we are going to move, and he's going to hop in the water. Gets out of the way of Lyria. There we go. What else? He has ripped up the road here, so we're going to rip up the road here, and he is now a free agent once again. He is... let's buy this tile so we can move to it. As you can see, Peel's more interested in the... and I understand why. It's just not what we want, so there's that. Lancer is... we got this Lancer here. I'll tell you what, let's bring this Lancer over here. We're done with war, although we are still at war with the Mayans, so there's that. But we can have this guy come over here, and he can get out of the water. He can pop there next turn. So there's all of that. This is the worker that's finishing. This is the worker that's pre-building. So pre-build, finish. And this worker, I mean, we can still rip up the marsh, but it's not a priority. So we'll get the road completed here, and we'll get this guy on the road so that he can move over here. Our borders are extended, so now if we do go to war with him, the tacticality of getting to this point is solved. And in fact, we can probably like hold with Great War Infantry here while our shooters just work on boats for a little while. But that's if we resume the war. There's reason not to. So we can just get a multiplier from Caravan or something. But if we do, I see there's one tile of his that we can step onto and be free from bombard, so at least there's that. These guys were coming over here to supplement what we were doing over here, but if we do go to peace, we might want to pull one melee and one ranged from here and bring it back to, say, like Peel to act as defense here. Lisbon is technically a weak spot, but from over here we could respond quickly thanks to the roads. But the point is, this guy has double cover, so we would definitely want him to be more of offensive front line. In fact, you know what? Let's see here. Didn't we have another? Yeah, him. Let's get him back to the road. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on the road now. He can come up here, be eyes for here where we're actually going to settle. And in the meantime, since I'm talking about swapping some units out, I like the fact that we're blocking these tiles here, right? Because we have a civilian that's coming here. I don't know why Almaty's getting in our way out here. Maybe they're begrudgingly our allies, but I want to pave the way. So with this guy here, we'll actually bring him back. He only has cover 1. He has no cover. He has double cover. So yeah, we'll ultimately bring this guy back if we bring anybody back. But for now, I want to bring him back proactively because we want the Gatling gun over here. If we pull the range out of here, it would be the crossbow. And then same thing, like once the Gatling gun's relieved, this guy, or once the crossbow comes over here, we can, or something. I would also have this Lancer here. Okay, workers. We do have some jungle we need to rip up over here. He's working at. He's just cleaning up over here. Ramsey, we have no need for anything. We could rip up the forest here to make this hill an option, but I don't know how likely that's going to be. Aberystwyth is not picking up. Cork just had picked something up. Berlin in 8 turns might have something for us. We have a worker there. We're going to be dropping a city here. That'll be next turn. It'll come out. Okay, so we'll have this guy come over here and do the road tile here, then the gold, and then the iron. Speaking of iron, this is going to be 11 turns. Edinburgh is pursuing useless tiles. Cardiff. We're just kind of looking at maybe the freshwater tiles here. So this worker, we have 3 over here. Once they finish the road, 1 can stay behind to rip up the marsh. 1 can come over here to like repair the sheep, do whatever we need. 1 can come down here to do like that. And yeah, so we got like forest we would want to rip up here, jungles to rip up here. 2, 3, 4, 5. We could have them come rip up jungle there, I suppose. But there's lots of opportunities in the south as well. Just neglected tiles. Douglas just picked that up. We're going to get on it. So I can't call it really. Peel's all taken care of. We don't have anything to do over here. Okay. Well, since he literally has nothing useful to do, let's just come over here and rip up the jungle. When he's done, he can get on the road and take the place of whatever he would have otherwise been doing. And that way we don't have to spend any more time on that. So we'll just put the eyes here since it's the only active war. And look on the bright side, guys. If we do stay at peace with the Shoshone and then we take Palanque, we'll be at peace, which means there'll be fewer decisions to make. I'm going to let all of these come back and do them on our turn. What I was going to say is there's going to be fewer decisions to make, which means we'll be able to fit more turns in per episode moving forward. I know you guys will like that. Ethiopia lost its capital. Now that's interesting because Shoshone have been at war with them for as long as we've met them, so that's more or less the bulk of the series. That's very interesting. Alright. I've gotten in the habit of checking my faith every turn just to make sure we're not missing out on that. At this point, we're not doing a lot of fighting with the Lancers, so I think Sentry makes sense here. We'll get back to that. Yeah, that's not particularly useful. Okay, we did not get one of the jungle tiles. We gotta wait 12 turns. So him ripping up the jungle is not going to be all that important. Although once the jungle's out, I would assume they're going to be guaranteed those, not this. So at least there's that. And Cardiff is going. So let's see, 13 and 4, 10 and 4. Get the food we can while we can. Copper and horses, we'll come back to that. Quebec City is in awe of you. We're going to have them for a long time to come. No longer friends with Kiev. Alright. There we go. Maya Shoshone. Yep. Alright, so now that we can see everybody, this makes more sense to pay attention to. Copper and horses. And notice she wanted to talk about wine. We passed. And nobody's saying that they want wine. Except for him, but that's only because he has things to trade for. We see here we do not actually, in fact, have duplicate wine. But we do have duplicate copper, so we'll go to our standby. And that's why I wanted to wait to let it come back. I'm sure it would have showed us that we had to. Oh, you know what? We might be having wine from someplace else, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be duplicate within our own. Well, no, it would have shown up when I went over Happiness. It would have shown up as having to, so never mind. And then horses as well. We have a pack of 4. He doesn't want them. He's least likely to be a threat to us. So. And I base that on absolutely nothing other than the fact that he was the last to hate on us, so presumably his modifier is the smallest. 113 compared to like, well, I guess he's with everybody else. Okay, build Q, so we go into Goa, and we're still at more than 4 buildings. Growth in 5, so let's sell off the lighthouse. Growth in 10, no risk of growing here. Come to here. Weird, we have gold focus and it took away our market guy. Alright, well, when we sell this off, that'll no longer be a problem. So there we go, we'll freeze that next turn. And then we come over here. 7, yeah, long time ago. So let's see, 2 maintenance, we have the temple. And that's it, so there we go. We don't really care about the loss of faith once this gets out of resistance. I don't think. Alright, so Edinburgh, or excuse me, that's the first on the list, but not the first one we came to. Library's finished here, we're good on a market. Settler, that's our backyard settler. And then this one's going to be named Goa, and we're going to get onto the Statue of Liberty. Factory is done in Truro. So, growth in 16. Growth in 32. This city is like screeching to a halt. Still needs its zoo though. Factory's also done in Nantes. So we'll pull off the lumber mill and one of the growth tiles. Populate this. And now it's growth in 7. And notice our happiness has climbed 2 this turn from populating the factories. That's why we went freedom. And growth in 7, public school will be done shortly before that. So we'll have yet another specialist slot to work there. Okay, so let's see, we probably want to go to the war. And he's just sitting there shooting at this guy, who's also fortified, so, yeah, we'll fortify him and him. He will get on the aluminum. You wait, you wait, you wait. Who needs the XP more? Oh, he looks like he's ready to get his next promotion. So yeah, we'll start there, and that's all it took. Alternatively, we could have moved the Great General away, shot with the weaker one. Maybe it survived. I don't know. That seems a little bit too min-maxy. Alright, so we got the land here, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. We would have had to gone around this anyways, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. These guys will slide in. And next turn, when we're delegating our money, we're going to have to remember that this guy is going to need 2 upgrades once he lands. So we should try and not go crazy with our cash. Alright, pre-build, finish, and he'll finish next turn. He finishes this turn. So once this guy's finished, these 2 can bug out to like here and here, and we'll just leave the 1 guy remaining. Okay. So let's see, he can go all the way to the front, nice. And this road is finished, so he can go all the way right behind him. He can go, nice, alright. He gets onto the road because we're going to be withdrawing. We'll heal up a turn. Heal up a turn. Great General also goes to the front. There we go. I suppose we could heal with him after we get our eyes over here, right? So let's just have him go as far as... Well, on the other hand, the road will be finished next turn, so yeah, we can just wait, like I said originally. There we go. These guys are going to chill here and here. They're paving the way for Lyria, who's taking his sweet time getting over there, because we do not have railroads yet. Hey, what? Oh, city ruins, okay. Does it still count as road? It does. So I'm going to interrupt this guy's motion just to see if ripping up road is an option. I don't think it is on city connections, so I don't know if it will be there. He's going to heal. Well, I was thinking we could bring them for our eyes over here like they were before. But we are at war with mine, so we'll just heal there and figure something out. We don't need him to be eyes up here. We have eyes up there covered, but he could relieve one of these people. Whichever one we want. Looks like Rifleman is first, so we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. We can trade places with this guy at least. Get him as far as possible. Or rather, get this guy as close as possible, is what I mean to say. Yeah, see, we have another worker here that's unaccounted for as far as what we wanted to do. We could go... No, the iron's not ours yet. We can chop one of these hills. Might as well be the one we're standing on. We're never going to go to war with Zanzibar. If we did, having this one deforested would be beneficial to us. So let's just chop this down, get that factory expedited perhaps, hopefully. Musician is going to jump into the water next turn. Who else? Caravan. Okay, let's look at our caravan situation. In 7 turns, we will have 2 caravans being freed up. However, the one going from Truro to Edinburgh, we want to keep that there for the Eiffel Tower. It was for the Eiffel Tower, for the Statue of Liberty. So the one going to our house we don't need. I don't know how quickly we will conquer the Mayans, but that'll be available right away. And the one that comes after that is in 14 turns, and we don't want to lose our trade route with the Inca. So I think it makes sense right now to try to find a way to send this to the Shoshone. And then even if we do decide to go back to war with them, it's just 1 caravan. At this point in the game, that's nothing. I try to avoid that, but it really is nothing at this point. So we go to our maximum here. We start, let's see, that's boat. So we ignore it. Oh, and that's the other thing. At this point, to lose a caravan might actually be helpful because we could turn it into a cargo ship instead. That is also boat. Lisbon to Kuchendica. Alrighty, you said it. Lisbon, where are you? There you are. There we go. So that's taken care of. And this one is backyard. We don't even need to name it because of its position now. Alright, he's making his way over. You can see the line here. This is the edge of the world. And you can see by the reticle, that's also... yeah, he just wants to chill there. Fortify there. Get started on ripping up the jungle. He's just waiting there. Okay, so we are past the half-hour mark, and unfortunately I was in the gym before I recorded this, so after I get out of the gym I have to pee and pee and pee. All the cellular waste getting taken care of. So that's where I'm going to be. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me know what you think about not only making peace with the Shoshone at this point. I think you can see by how far we're able to get forward that even if we were to continue to war, I think this makes sense in the short term. But also let me know what you think as far as whether or not to resume the war or just stay at peace for the multiplier. You can see here we're going to have 3 concert tours, and the concert tours are going to be towards the Mayans, but 50% of their value is splashed across every other civ. So between that, the fact we took a couple cities, we're going to get a multiplier starting next turn. We might not need to war any further. Anyways, please leave me a like and subscribe if you feel that I've earned it, and I will see you guys in the next part. Take care.